Hey guys, what's up? It's just Connor, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about, as the title states, the 3 steps to 6 figures in 2023 as a complete beginner, right? And if you haven't watched my previous videos, you can probably know where this is going, but it's without any capital, it's without starting a business, without any experience, right? Without any previous skills. Doesn't matter your background, or even if English is your second language, you can do this, right? So without further ado, let's get stuck in. So step 1, if you already watched my videos or you know who I am, or you've been from my Instagram page or wherever you might have come from, you probably know where this is going. But step 1 is get good at sales. Why sales? Sales as a skill is something that makes you infinitely more valuable to the marketplace. And why is this important? Right? Well, if you look at all the different skills that you can basically accumulate, there's a lot of skills you can get out there. There's copywriting, there's paid advertising like marketing, there's sales, there's plenty of others that I probably can't name right now, right? Cybersecurity, for example, one that's a little bit way on the end of the spectrum, not in the online space. But all these skills ultimately make you more valuable to the marketplace. Now, why that's important is because when you learn sales, doesn't matter if there's an economic downturn, it doesn't matter if something comes up, right? There's a pandemic or whatever it might be, right? If you get good at sales, you're always going to be very, very, very employable, and you're probably going to be the last person to lose your job in any company, right? The reason why is because the number one resource that every business owner has, and the most important thing in every business, is cash flow. And who brings in cash flow? Well, it's the marketing team, it's the sales team. But more importantly, a lot of the time, it's the sales team. It's right. That's probably the most important skill that you can learn. And so the reason why it's also the fastest way to get you to where you want to go with no capital, no experience, and all those things I mentioned before is sales is a meritocracy. And because it's a meritocracy, that means the best rise to the top. So if you're a winner, you're someone that gets after it. And look, to be honest, sales isn't for everybody, right? There's probably about a 10 to 20% margin of people out there that sales is just not meant for you. And that's okay. Right? But for a large portion of you, sales is definitely going to be a fit. I don't know many people that don't want to be a winner, that aren't willing to get after it and don't want to be successful. If you're one of those 3 things, sales is the perfect fit for you because you add this value to any business, it means you can get paid proportion to the value that you bring to the table, right? With the skill of sales, you'll bring a huge amount of value to the table. So it's by far the best and fastest way in 2023 and any year from now on to get to a very good financial stability, right? Or income level in the fastest way manner possible, right? I literally just spoke to a student of mine today that literally got onboarded from starting my program into a brand new role in less than 24 hours, right? Because he's hungry, he's willing to get after it, and he's keen. Right? And it's with a multi 7-figure entrepreneur here in Australia. So with that said, get good at sales. Now, I've explained why you need to get good at sales, but how you can get good at sales is one of 2 ways. You can invest in a mentor, you can do free resources. Like I mentioned, you don't need capital to get started, but it can get you there much faster. 4 years ago, I invested about $7,500 in my first mentor. He taught me the fundamentals, he taught me the basics, and he got me committed to the path of sales, right? And so the more money that you spend on yourself as investing yourself on an asset, I think Alex Mosey said it best, right? Why would I invest in the S&P 500 or whatever it is when I can invest in the SME 500, whatever it is? The more you accumulate skills, you can now be an employable asset. So you can hedge against risk of any economic downturn, pandemic, whatever is going to go on. And the better you get good at sales, the more money that you make, and the more money that you make for a business, right? So going from reasons to getting good at sales, right? Getting a mentor can just fast track that journey much, much quicker, right? When I first got started, like I mentioned, I invested in a mentor. He taught me a lot of the stuff that would have taken me a long time to figure out. You can invest in a mentor like myself, right? Or anybody else online that's going to help you with the skills, like the sales skills, the know-how, what type of opportunities to look for, all that kind of good stuff, right? Fast tracking your success. If you don't want to do that and you don't have the money on hand, right? You don't have money to invest in yourself, Totally fine. I've been there. Many people have been there. I get it. Totally normal. So what you can do is, and what I want you to do is go and find any sales book that you can find. Grant Cardone, Jeremy Minor, Jordan Belfort. Those are a few sales trainers, just to name a few, that you can go and study. There are free resources everywhere on YouTube, books, podcasts. If I were you, I would study anything that I can find in terms of getting good at sales, right? That's the first step. Step number 2 is actually getting a role, okay? So once you've got the fundamentals down, you got the basics down, now not only you can perform in a role and keep the role, but you can also get a role, because if you know fundamentals of and basics of sales, you can sell yourself into a role, right? Funny how that works, right? Sales as a skill bleeds into everything: dating, relationships, hiring, business, networking, everything. That's why it's so critical and key. So what I mean by getting a role? Well, I mean by just getting a job in sales. Now that can be in 2 different industries. One of the main industries that I like to get all my students involved in is more specifically in the high ticket sales realm, or the online education market, right? But there's also another market, of course, as well, which you can sell, where many salespeople make a very good living and can do it completely remote, which is solar, insurance, software as a service. There's specific industries, right, that are more mainstream bricks and mortar businesses that you can make a lot of income relatively quickly. I have friends that do upwards of $60,000 a month selling software as a service. I know people that do $100,000 a month selling door-to-door solar, right? And there's multiple people that can sell security alarms, all this type of stuff, that do very well. Now, the key thing is, you might hear some of those numbers and you go, Connor, that's completely impossible. I'm here to tell you it's not. And the more exposure you get to people that make that type of income, the more belief that you have for yourself that it's possible, and then you'll actually strive to achieve those numbers, right? Really, really key thing there. So if you want to get a role in the online education space, what I would recommend that you do is, there's Facebook groups out there. So you just go into Facebook and then you go to the search function for groups. Then you can search up high ticket sales jobs or high ticket closer. There's going to be probably at least 10 plus, 15 plus groups you can join, with literally offers that are there every single day. Now keep in mind, they are going to be super and hyper competitive. However, when you're first getting started out, anything really that you can make money on, get experience and develop is decent, right? You can get better roles in the online education space if you wait a little bit longer and you network a bit more. But if you're looking to get started quickly, that's the best way that I'd recommend. Go and find other job posts, apply to them, right? Message recruiters, right? Get involved in that. There's going to be a specific video I create in the future that's going to give you the specific steps, but this is the high level. If you're looking to get started into the mainstream sales world, the best way to go about that is networking. LinkedIn is a fantastic place. If you actually go into the job searching mechanism in LinkedIn, you can actually search entry-level jobs. If you find entry-level jobs, these are specifically designed for people that are getting started in sales, right? Sometimes some people can be ultimately, like some of my students, earning 3 times that what they were earning previously, right? Just by getting a more traditional mainstream like setter or cold calling role. Right, 75,000 base per year, with a very, very high chance to do over 6 figures in commission combined with the base. Okay, so entry level is the best way to go about doing that. One of my students, Ben, did that in less than 2 weeks, right? And there's a few others as well, like Peter and Alex, that did something similar in Australia. So that's what I'd recommend. If you want to get there fast or as quickly as possible, LinkedIn is a great approach for entry level, and then the other approach is through Facebook groups. Through the methods I spoke about earlier on before, okay? One final point with that is, in getting a role, you need to do the amount of outreach to make it feasibly impossible, right? Make it unquestionable if you get a role. So many beginners I see starting out don't really give it the role. They go, cool, I'm going to get a sales role, and they don't really do enough. And they might apply to 10 roles and they give up and they say, sales is not for me. All right, totally not true, right? You need to do hundreds of applications. You need to make it absolutely unreasonable so that you do succeed, right? You need to be able to say, Like if you come to me and you say, Connor, I've applied to literally hundreds of applications and I haven't even booked an interview, then we'll have a chat, right? But if you've only, basically put out 50 applications and you've heard from nobody, that's just simply not enough, right? So you need to do enough numbers to make it unreasonable for you to win. Step 3, of course, is, I would say, again, probably get some type of mentor or invest in some type of training. Why? Because like I mentioned, sales is a meritocracy. What that means is if you're in a commission-only role or you're in a small amount of salary and then there's a huge earning potential, which most sales roles will give you, you then can scale, improve, and optimize. So if you get better at sales, let's say you're closing at 20% and you improve your conversion rate from 20% to 30%, you're now making, depending on what you're earning per sale, a significant amount more per month, considering that you've improved your skill level, okay? And then, we'll just do anything that I could possibly do to get better at sales and tweak and optimize my process just to get a small little bit percentage better, right? Land, perform, improve, right? That's land, perform, improve, scale, whatever you really want to give those words, or losing words there. Whatever you want to name those 3 steps, that's what we're doing there, right? Learn the good skill of sales, understand why you're learning it, as I've explained it earlier on, get really good at it, land a role, and then get better at your role, right? That is by far the fastest way to 6 figures in 2023. Nothing really compares to it, right? And the cool thing about sales, again, is that you're learning a skill that is going to live on, and you're never going to... It's not like you're starting a dropshipping business or an affiliate marketing business and then you're left with no skills, right? You're going to have skills you can add to any business and always make money. And that's why I say to anyone that learns sales and gets good at it, you truly never have to worry about money again, right? You'll never be poor, you'll never be broke, because you can basically spawn money out of thin air, okay? So that's it for this one, guys. Hopefully you found it useful. Hopefully you found it insightful, and I'll see you in the next video.